Breaking news from Canada. In a dramatic turn of events, Mark Carney secures another term as Canada's Prime Minister. And this time, the story is bigger than just Canadian politics. President Trump's looming presence over the election fueled tensions, debates, and ultimately, decisions. Stay tuned as we dive deep into what happened, how Carney's anti-Trump platform played a critical role, and what it means for Canada's future and the world. The nation was on edge tonight, as millions of Canadians lined up to cast their votes. It wasn't just about healthcare, the economy, or climate change anymore. It was about identity, sovereignty, and how Canada defines itself against growing political extremism across the border. Early results were tight. At one point, the Liberals and Conservatives were neck and neck, separated by less than 2% in key battleground ridings. But just after 9 p.m. Eastern Time, CBC Radio Canada projected it. Mark Carney and the Liberal Party had clinched victory. The big question, though, would it be a majority government or a minority government? On-screen graphics showing a map of Canada with red Liberal wins and blue Conservative seats. Unlike previous elections, this campaign wasn't just a battle between left and right. It was a referendum on Trumpism. Mark Carney's strategy, clear, bold, and controversial, positioned himself and his party as the antithesis to Trump's politics. His speeches hit hard. Canada stands for inclusion, not division. We build bridges, not walls. Democracy here is built on trust, not on fear. His slogans almost seemed designed to echo and counter Trump's own rhetoric. Political analysts noted a huge surge in youth voter turnout and suburban voters, motivated by fears that Canada might drift closer to the kind of polarized politics seen in the U.S. Show clips from campaign rallies, emotional speeches, Canadian flags waving. President Trump, although not on the ballot, loomed large over this election. His recent aggressive comments towards Canadian trade policies, his threats to impose new tariffs, and his repeated critiques of Carney's leadership during rallies in border states like Michigan and New York, all contributed to a backlash among Canadian voters. In a speech just last week, Trump said, "Canada's gone soft. They need a real leader." That statement alone sparked massive outrage across Canadian media and political circles. In a sense, Trump's involvement backfired spectacularly, galvanizing Carney's base, reawakening nationalist sentiments, and reminding Canadians of their distinct political identity. Show headlines: Trump interferes in Canadian election. Backlash boosts Carney's campaign. Shortly after the win projection, Carney took the stage in Toronto. In an emotional address to a roaring crowd, he said, "This election was about hope, not fear, about unity, not division, about building a future together, not tearing each other apart." He thanked young voters for turning out in record numbers, Indigenous communities for their resilience, and his opponents for a hard-fought campaign. Interestingly, Carney never mentioned Trump by name during his speech, a calculated move that spoke volumes about his strategy. Respond to attacks with dignity, not with more attacks. His promise to Canadians, a stronger democracy, greener economy, affordable healthcare, and a renewed global leadership role for Canada. Insert a few seconds of clips from Carney's speech. Crowd cheers, Canadian flags waving. Although the Liberals have secured the most seats, it remains unclear if they have won a majority government, which would allow Carney to pass legislation freely without relying on other parties. If it's a minority, Carney will have to negotiate with the NDP and possibly the Green Party to maintain power. A complex dance that could slow down some of his boldest plans. The challenges ahead include repairing relations with a hostile White House, managing inflation and cost of living crises, delivering on ambitious climate change promises. Internationally, Carney's win sends a clear signal. Canada is choosing a different path than its southern neighbor, one rooted in multilateralism, compassion, and stability. But it also sets the stage for potential trade tensions, diplomatic battles, and increased pressure on Canada's defense commitments. Show visuals of Parliament Hill, Carney meeting with supporters, Trump speaking at rally. In the end, tonight's election wasn't just about Mark Carney. It wasn't even just about the Liberal Party. It was about the soul of a nation. At a time when global democracies are under strain, Canada's choice tonight echoes far beyond its borders. One thing is certain: the world will be watching very closely what Canada does next. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, Subscribe for more real-time updates, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think Carney's leadership will shape Canada's future? Let's discuss.